I am. I am. Oh, you're up there. Yeah, you and me both.
Are you
Where it says three
taking
people
that
waiting,
training
there's
too?
a little drop down.
with the Association of Towns? Are you going to that too? Ah, okay.
No, right above. It's, right, the view and see if that maybe gives you the option of attending everybody.
Still,
Oh, up in the upper right corner.
okay,
Oh,
okay, good. I thought it was kind of cool when I went. To me, when I went and learned.
Makes a change. Petty experience.
I was gonna say, yeah, I had not done this before. So.
So.
Okay.
Good evening. Welcome to the January 10th, 2024 meeting of the Rushtown Board. Join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Valerie, if you'll call the roll.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Here,
Councilman Chase,
Here.
Councilman Brown,
Here.
Councilman Kies,
Here.
Supervisor Williver.
Here. Announcements. Like to thank the Ladies Auxiliary and the Fire Department, along with Kirsten at the library and the library staff for establishing the warming stations during the power outage on Saturday. Everything seemed to go well. They didn't have a lot of customers, but I think we learned a lot about getting ready for in case we do have a problem. And that's that. And now for the public comment period, remember 3-minute rule. Anyone wish to speak?
Just need to turn on the microphone.
Joanne Gus, 8 Cold Creek Way. Joanne Gust, 8 Cold Creek Way. Welcome to Derek and Luther. I noticed your contact information isn't on the website. Will that be going up soon?
Think so.
All right, that's it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Janet Glocker. I live on Rush Henrietta Town Line Road. I also want to welcome Mr. Kies and Mr. Brown, as well as Attorney Overton. During the last 4 years, it's been a very active board, due in no small part to the issues brought to us by Horseshoe Solar. We now have a host community agreement and a road use agreement with Invenergy concerning Horseshoe Solar. It has to be very closely monitored. Last Monday, January the 8th, RS wrote Invenergy and pushed back on some of Invenergy's failures to file documents. I'm hoping that notification came to you, Dan, as supervisor.
Yes.
Good. The town has approximately $40,000 owed to it by Invenergy right now. I'm hoping someone is calling to secure that money. It was negotiated by Ben, and as best I know, it's relatively unique in New York State. I've been driving by the Werner project. I know it's been sold twice already, and it's not meeting the town's zoning code with regards to visual screening. I don't know who is contacting the new owner, but my hope is that we are enforcing our town laws. And we have the Helios project, also sold several times. There's a tree line that was part of the agreement with respect to screening, but it's being removed. So that project is now in conflict with its agreement with the town. I don't know who's removing the trees. I suspect it's Mr. Howlett or his employees. A real worry to me is Hodson Solar and Bess LLC. Hodson filed with the New York State Department of State, and they filed in July of 2022. At the same time, they filed for Monroe County in the town of Rush. The project entered the New York Independent Systems Operator interconnection queue in February of 2023. I informed the town of its presence on the queue shortly thereafter. To my knowledge, Hodson will have a BESS, a battery energy storage system. And again, to the best of my knowledge, it'll be the first significant BESS in Monroe County. I know you're discussing the intergovernmental hazardous mitigation. I don't know whether it would cover a BESS or not. But here are my questions to the board and a recommendation. As town officials, you're responsible for enforcing our laws and regulations. Who on the board will be assigned as the Tier 3 monitor and the enforcement of those laws and regulations? I'm asking you, please, to continue your relationship with Ben Wisniewski. He's an expert in renewable energy. He negotiated the HCA and the RUA. And with all due respect, we don't have an attorney now, Mr. Overton, who is a specialist in renewable energy. So you probably have lived a perfectly normal and happy life without knowing about NYSERDA or NYISO or RS. When you compare the host community agreement and the road use agreement negotiated by Ben for us with the contract negotiated by Caledonia, you realize how very valuable Ben has been to the town. Rush has tens of thousands of dollars on the line in terms of revenues. There are 60+ residents who are affected by Horseshoe Solar. All of us are affected based on revenues. We have residents along Woodruff Road who were affected by screening for Helios, and the residents of Fishel and East River Road will be affected by Hodson, and our first responders in the fire department are at risk with the BESS if it occurs at the Hodson's. So please install somebody to monitor these Tier 3 installations in Horseshoe. Please continue the very valuable relationship with Ben so he can continue to protect our town. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right.
Might have somebody online. Is there anybody online who wanted to talk? Okay, that's not-
Yeah, I would like to make a comment.
Did someone? Oh,
Art, do you want to acknowledge our clerk?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Arthur Avila, 1000 Rush Scottsville Road. I would like to congratulate Luther Kais, Derek Brown, and Dan Oliver for their election for the town board and for town supervisor. One thing that I would like to say is that even though it was a straight result on the ballot, I don't expect that you are always going to agree with each other. And I expect to see disagreements happening on the town board and sometimes have splits on the votes between you. I think that's part of a healthy relationship in management when those disagreements are expressed in the town board. And I don't expect that you're always going to agree with everyone who is going to come here and speak. And also remember that there is a great silent majority in the town that cannot make to the town board meetings. I, for instance, have here my dinner in front of me because it's the only way that I can make to a town board meeting during the public comment. You have a difficult job, which is to try to listen to the people who show up here and get the feedback that you get from the town. And there is going to be a lot of comments that are not going in the direction that the majority actually wants. So please be strong and make a stance for what is of the public interest of the whole town, and avoid at all costs repeating the same mistakes of the previous administration, and try to have an ethical behavior in the town board. Avoid any sort of favoritism, any sort of nepotism, and make sure that you are clear and transparent with the town finances. If at all possible, publish the results of the financial statements of the town in the town newsletter. Because the other thing that we don't see here in the meetings is the press. There is nobody here from Democratic Chronicle. There is no one here from the local TV stations that's keeping an eye on you. So it is important to have a very transparent administration and make those numbers public and in the town newsletter. Because that's something that will be great with great value, and much more important than some of the other things that we spent a lot of time and resources publishing in there. Again, I congratulate you for the new positions, and I wish that you have a successful government for the next couple of years.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, move on to approval of the minutes. Minutes of December 27th, 2023. I have a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve those.
Excuse me?
So I'll move to
Oh.
approve those.
So I had written that I wanted comments of Councilwoman Amber Corbin, that she spent time reading at that December 27th meeting. I would like them, and I sent them to you, Val, because you had taken the minutes. So have they been incorporated? I didn't see any. I never got a reply.
So no, at this time they have not. It has been suggested that they be tabled at this time until the next meeting, and town clerk, Pucci can discuss it at the meeting.
Okay.
So, table on that one.
The organizational minutes from the January 3rd, I haven't had a chance to read them yet. I don't know if anybody else has.
No, I haven't had a chance. We just got them late this afternoon.
So we'll table those two.
Okay, I was gonna say, I didn't see them.
Yeah, they just
Didn't
came
see
in.
them,
like,
okay.
They came out late.
Okay.
Move on to the abstract. Councilman Chase.
I so move, having reviewed all vouchers on abstract 1-1 of January 10th, 2024. Authorizing payment totaling $79,287.50, which includes Fund AA General for $33,213.67. Fund DA Highway for $42,293.05, and Fund LL Library for $3,780.78. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Kais,
Aye.
Supervisor Willoughby.
Aye. Move on to report of officers. Start with Councilman Chase.
At this time, I have nothing to report.
Councilman or Councilwoman Morelli.
Nothing to report other than our organizational meeting.
Councilman Brown,
Nothing to report.
Councilman Guys.
Nothing to report.
I just have, I met with, the library about the, eclipse happening June, or I mean, April 8th
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah,
They're,
April 8th.
they're, got things in the work. They want to have some kind of something going on, so be more to follow, but that's moving ahead. Town clerk? Deputy?
So the town and county warrant has been received by Town Clerk Bucci in order to collect taxes. The tax amount for town taxes is $1,797,695.00. Amount of taxes to be collected from Monroe County is $3,059,887.17. Full payment without interest is due on February 10th. With it being a weekend, taxes will be accepted on Monday, February 12th without interest. Taxes collected and posted to date are $629,160.90. December monthly revenue report will be submitted to Supervisor Williver in the amount of $5,790.07 and state fees in the amount of $202.70. The subject of engineering and legal fees has been discussed in open meetings. All invoices to applicants for engineering and most legal fees for the year of 2023 have been mailed. Town Clerk Bucci has received my resignation effective January 19th. Will be my last day. I will be deputized in the town of Gates, where I live. And I appreciate the position that I've had here in the town, and I have truly enjoyed my time here. Everybody has been great, and Town Clerk Bucci has taught me a lot, and I am very grateful to her.
The town's very grateful to you for everything you've done.
Yeah, wish you the best.
Attorney Overton?
Nothing to report.
Right. We'll move on to old business. There was a meeting in Henrietta about the local waterfront revitalization project, which has been sort of stagnant for quite a while. It's beginning to move again. If anyone's interested, you could go to the henrietta.org/LWRP. There's a 200-page document that outlines a lot of the projects for not only Henrietta, but Rush. And the next 3 months, there's gonna be more activity than there has been in the last year or so. So it's moving ahead. And we'll see where it goes from there.
Will you be going to the meetings or what?
I'm going, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
We have to have a resolution to include the supervisor secretary hourly rate in the budget. We'll want to read that.
I so move to reappoint Sharon Knight as part-time secretary to the supervisor and clerk to the planning, zoning board of appeals and conservation boards effective January 1st, 2024 through December 31st of 2024 at a rate of $25.90 per hour. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Kais,
Aye.
Supervisor Williver.
Aye. And Need a resolution to update the employee's handbook to cover the emergency fobs.
I can read that if you want.
Sure.
I so move to update the employee handbook to include an emergency fobs policy. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Aye.
Councilman Chates.
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Kais,
Aye.
Supervisor Williver.
Aye. And we have an updated local government hazardous mitigation plan. We need to vote on.
If you want, I can write it, you can read it, or
You
yeah. Good. You go.
I so move the town, I so move, whereas the town board of Rush recognizes the threat that natural hazards pose to people and property within the town of Rush. And whereas the town of Rush has prepared a multi-hazard mitigation plan hereby known as the Monroe County Hazard Mitigation Plan 2023 update in accordance with the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000. And whereas the Monroe County Hazard Mitigation Plan 2023 update identifies mitigation goals and actions to reduce or abate long-term risk to the people and property in the town of Rush from the impacts of future hazards and disasters. And whereas adoption by the town board of Rush demonstrates their commitment to hazard mitigation and achieving the goals outlined in the memo or mono.
Should be Monroe.
Okay, I was gonna say,
That's not a funky word, but.
in the Monroe County Hazard Mitigation Plan 2023 update. Now therefore be it resolved by the town of Rush, New York, that section 1, in accordance with local law, the town board adopts updated Monroe County Hazard Mitigation Plan 2023. This plan, approved by the community, may be edited or amended after submission for review, but will not require the community to readopt any further iterations. This only applies to the specific plan. It does not absolve to community from updating the plan in 5 years.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Aye.
Councilman Chates,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Kais,
Aye.
Supervisor Williver.
Aye. We have a proposal to renew the agreement with Penn Power Systems for the town hall generator. It was supposed to be renewed in June last year and somehow we missed that. In the meantime, Councilperson Kais says there's a local vendor that could probably handle this.
The local vendor here in town that does nothing but generators worldwide. And I'd like us to
If,
table this. and
Yeah.
We can get a vote or a
yeah, get a,
quote from
I get a
him.
quote
Yeah.
from him.
So I can probably have it by next meeting.
Sounds good.
It also involves a generator at the highway department to
Okay.
be part of that agreement.
Those two are.
Okay.
Since we have one to run our, our front office and our fuel pumps and stuff.
Okay.
like that.
Is that the one up on Town Line Road? The place on Town Line Road? No, another one.
No.
Okay, okay. All right, we'll to see what you get.
Mike, you know their name?
Not offhand.
On Town Line Road?
Yeah,
It's like it was Integrated Power Systems Incorporated or something
Well,
like that.
that's John.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He owns it, but that's
Right.
his son. It's two,
oh, okay.
it's like two companies.
So we're talking about the same people, just
Same
two different
people.
companies. Okay,
okay,
fair enough.
Okay,
okay,
All right.
Thank you.
so
yeah,
Either way, it's a local person.
yeah, yeah.
we'll move forward
Father and son.
for next week,
Okay.
2 weeks.
Thanks.
And fuel tank replacement at the highway garage. DJ, we got 3 quotes.
You want me to get their talk or am I okay here?
Look, because they can't hear you, people at home can't hear you.
So I've reached out to several companies. I've ended up with 3 quotes. You know, after a lot of back and forth, or since June, honestly, with all this stuff. My recommendation for the best, you know, for the best service and what we're gonna get is the Pump Doctor. Out of Eden, New York. They came highly recommended from the town of Mendon. They service their pumps and supplied them with all their tanks. There's a little bit of it's hard getting apples to apples with some of this stuff. So the Pump Doctor is the one that provides us with 2 tanks. A 2,000 gallon gas, a 4,000 gallon diesel tank. The other ones have 1 tank that is split in the middle, that is 6,000 gallons. So ultimately, in the end, if something ever happened to that tank, the 6,000 gallon tank, we would have to replace the entire thing. With the Pump Doctor, if something happens to one, we replace one. You know, he's also providing us with a tank to borrow to put our gasoline in while this process is happening. Right now, currently, I am buying gas from the town of Mendon. We are down to about 400 gallons of gas at the highway department. I've reached out to them, I had an agreement through the shared service agreement, which allows us to do all this stuff. To buy gas for the highway department from them in order to leave enough gas there for them, for the fire department. You know, there's a lot of back and forth. It's predominantly the same equipment. The Pump Doctor, you know, some of that stuff is a little bit higher end, stainless steel and all that. Their agreement is a little bit more, but there are extras in that with, you know, adding a light to the, over the top of the pumps and stuff like that. As you know, we're out all hours of the night, you know, doing, you know, either tree removal or snow and ice or stuff like that, and the fire department for that matter. So I guess my recommendation for the future of Rush and what is best for the highway department and the fire department is to use the Pump Doctor. I think we're getting our most bang for the buck as far as them guys go.
Did you say this is state contract too?
And they are also on the state contract with Sourcewell, which doesn't require us to, you know, put it out to bid. So we don't have to have an RFP. We can just, I can call him tomorrow, say, okay, we're doing it through Sourcewell, which is recognized by New York State or OGS. So we can, you know, tomorrow morning, we can start moving forward on this, which I think is a big deal. You know, I'm having to order fuel once a week at this point. With snow and ice stuff going on, I mean, we can burn, you know, 500 to 600 gallons of fuel a week or a weekend. It is just in this past snowstorm. So my preference is to use the Pump Doctor and go that direction.
So because they're on this approved list, we don't have to go through the other normal procurement. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yep.
because as I was thinking, like, don't we have to,
Yeah.
but,
And he did get 2 other. quotes.
Right.
So he did-
and you did,
Yes.
Anyways, we still have the 2 other proposals, so we,
You know,
Have a
and,
total of
and
3.
they are in the middle of the whole both,
okay,
you know, tank for tank of what they're providing us as far as heat tanks. They are, you know, within $500 of the lowest one and, you know, $500 of the highest one. Where their difference is a little bit in the pricing is on the tank removal. And they have added a little bit, there was contamination there prior to this, when the old tanks got replaced. They are shooting a little bit high on that just due to, you know,
You don't know what you got down there.
potential contamination, and it was, you know, prior to me working the highway department or being highway superintendent, so. You know, that could be a little less.
Who handles the permitting?
they also, where the other ones do not, they handle all the permitting through DEC and the EFPA. As far as that, they cover all that cost and setting all that up. Our tanks have to have numbers, they have to be registered. And, the pump doctor does that. The other companies do not, is left on us.
So this same company would take care of the removal of the underground tanks?
Yep. The highway department is gonna be very involved in the whole project. So we're doing the concrete work and all that and building the stuff to set the tanks on. And getting the old tank out of the ground. Once they come, they have to cut a triangle in it. And power wash the insides and do all that in order for it to go to the scrap metal place. So, it's gonna kind of be,
And because of the contaminated soil, they're handling all the remediation of all that old soil, all
yeah,
that
they
taken
do
care of.
all the tests, all that, hopefully we dig them out of the ground and they say, thumbs up.
So do
And-
we need to worry about insurance and
That provide insurance.
that's what I'm saying, I'm assuming, but I'm just asking the question.
So,
How do I recommend that? The tank removal is kind of an open check. I would say you have to break out the cost of contamination,
right,
right? The tank removal is XYZ. If we find contamination, so much a ton or
yeah,
so
and
much.
it's labeled in that contract. I know I was a little bit late in getting this stuff, to you guys, but it is labeled in there, if there is contamination, it will be, that much more. On the Arrow one and the Pump Doctor one, it's labeled that way. The other company does not do tank removal. So,
Okay. And is that tank removal part of the 229, or is that just?
It
that's a
is,
separate
no.
deal?
the tank removal, the total cost on that is 256,540. If you add them numbers, up, it's 256,540. So,
I would anticipate you're probably gonna have a clean hole there. so. Basically,
yeah,
I know.
Yeah, and like I've talked about before, the outer shell is what's leaking in them tanks, which makes them not pass this test. So the inner tank is not leaking where the actual fuel is.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just taking on groundwater. We're not putting anything out at this point.
Right.
So, I mean, what I have to go by at this point is, town of Mendon and what they've dealt with this company as far as service and stuff like that. And, they say nothing but good things about them as far as, servicing the pumps and whatever they needed along the way, so.
All right,
So what was your concern again about the pricing?
I'm sorry. Huh?
You had some concern about the cost here.
No, I wanna know if that cost included this or this is which is add it all together.
Right, okay.
so we go ahead with the gas doctor. The
Pump doctor? Yeah, do we need a resolution?
Sure.
There wasn't one on the sheet, so I'm looking to our attorney for guidance on how to read that out.
Yes. Basic, think the resolution, whoever is gonna make it, Counselor, should be moved to authorize the superintendent to enter into a agreement with the Pump Doctor, Inc. For the installation of the removal of an existing fuel tank and the installation of 2 new fuel tanks and the continued maintenance thereof. What is it, a 1-year term? Are they looking to do a 1-year term?
As far
Is
as,
the removal installation, is it gonna be continued maintenance as well? Are they gonna provide any interim service
as
as needed?
we,
Are we gonna do that for a 1-year period and then renew next year?
yeah, it's just, you know, whenever they,
Um,
whenever I need them, then I'm gonna call.
Gotcha. And for a period of 1 year commencing Jan 1, 2024 through December 1, 2030, December 31st, 2024.
I'm gonna take a whack at it and I may look to you.
Oh, I
for
was
some
hoping,
guidance.
I was hoping that there were, I was
Yeah.
gonna say you could just, you could say so moved and then somebody can second that. and then
Okay,
you'll-
so moved.
I'll second that.
And if you need me to, I can write it out.
That
I'll
would
send
be
it to
wonderful.
you so you've got it for the minutes.
Okay.
Should we include a price in there, not to exceed?
For a price not to exceed.
$2,654.
$256,540.00.
So moved.
Well, actually, I'm gonna add one correction. That cost excluding any, the cost to remove any contaminated soil discovered in the removal of the existing tank.
So move.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Kais,
Aye.
Supervisor Woolever.
Aye. And having no further business to conduct. Move to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Want to talk about that parking
Later.
later?
I'm gonna try to contact the county. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, everyone.
So, yeah, you have business being in